these 4 years past COVID in drinking? We're number one. We're number one. Is drinking good for us? No, its technical name is neurotoxin, which means brain poison. I can't wait to leave here and go get some. Yeah, boy. Is it good for a person with dementia? No, it's brain poison. No, give them the fake stuff. Okay? Give them the fake stuff. And they're down now to where that fake stuff tastes pretty real. If you yourself has noticed your drinking has increased, you very seriously need to bring it down. Okay, women that a few years ago we would have said women can have one drink, men can have two. The news has come out now that none of us should be drinking. It is not good for women's heart health. It causes heart issues. And for men, it causes issues with your romantic life because it makes blood vessels shrink and shrivel. Does that make sense to everybody in this room? I don't need to draw a graphic or get Catherine's in the back going, Tam, shut up. Okay, moving on from drinking. And then it turns out there are actually 5 different adult children. For years, when people said my children don't help me, I would say, oh, they just need the disease explained to them because, you know, this child will become the caregiver and there's going to be one child that does it. And then oh, God, Michael, your phone is ringing. Turn it off. And then who the caregiver is can be influenced by culture. Okay. Some family cultures have that last child because that last child is going to be the caregiver. Okay. Do you want me to stomp on that? I can stomp on that phone for you. If I stomp on the phone, can I have those earrings? She has the most gorgeous set of earrings. Okay. So finally, I went back and did the research on the children. Child number 1 says that there is a condition, there's a disease of the brain, there's something that's affecting mom or dad. We need to build a plan. We need to figure out how we're going to pay for this. We need to know what we're going to do. We need to all come together. Child number 2 says, yeah, that's fine. You do that, but this is just them misbehaving. They're just pretending that something is wrong. Child number 3 says, well, all adults, all people who get old get dementia. And that is not true. Dementia is a disease of aging, but it is not normal aging, and we don't expect you to develop dementia. Child number 4, who is just worthless as a child, isn't sure of what to do, so they just stay on the edge, and that way nobody bothers them. And then child number 5, my personal favorite, the one who doesn't seem to know anything at all is going on. Now, I have seen families of all number 1s, and I have seen families of all number 5s. And if you have stepchildren, which one of those did they fall into? Number 5, because why should I do the work if you're going to do it? And after all, you broke up a marriage, or you took away my mom or my dad, or you're just a bad person. But stepchildren are many, many times number 5. So there really are 5 variations of responses you can get from your children. But you need to remember, they're still afraid of you. You're still their parents, and some of them aren't helping because they don't realize you need it. So give them stuff to do. Does that make sense? Okay. Have them come and spend the weekend so you can go to the Marriott and lay with your feet up, or wherever it is you go to lay with your feet up here. Okay. This is not an ad for the puffy eye people. Okay. How many of you feel guilty when you didn't cause the disease? How many of you feel grief? And it's overwhelming. I don't know how some of you even get out of bed at night. That nighttime bed getting out of, I'm worried about you. Now, this is how other humans look at loss. Guess what the scribbled one is? How dementia families go through it. It's not one day of grief. It's not one sudden event. It's grieving over and over and over again as they die a little bit more and go away from who you knew. You want to come and get a picture of it? You got one? No kidding. Do I need to back up? Oh, thank you. I didn't know, you know. Okay, does that shock any of y'all? Looks just like what you've gone through. Remember those family dynamics? Remember having friends? So when they first told me about Town Square, Catherine and John, I said, my God, you have hit the gold mine. In San Antonio in 2021, they built 785 new rooms for people with dementia, but they never stopped to think about how many people can afford that care. What is the average cost of care for dementia, for memory care here? Do y'all know? 8 or 9,000, and then you've got a la carte billing where they add on more. And in Connecticut and New Hampshire, it can be as high as 20,000, right? And how much is it if you hire a full-time caregiver? That's 34,000 a year, a month, right? And they're not trained in dementia. When Catherine and John said they were going to do it Town Square, I said, oh my God, the people that you will help. Because in spite of all these dementia places they keep building, how many of you have millions of dollars? Anybody in here got millions of dollars? Come on, somebody in here's got millions of dollars, and I want to be your friend. And my generation hasn't saved money. We're waiting for our parents to die so we'll have an inheritance. And that's much different than this is mom and dad's money, take it and do everything with it. And if your loved one has a dementia, you're still alive. And how are you going to pay for the rest of your life if it all went to that? And so when they said they were going to do this, I said, oh my God, you can take people right to the edge of to the end. And the family will still have money left over. And the 8 hours a day, you will give them enough of a break that they actually get a break as a caregiver. And they can go do stuff. Does that sound right? So this place, full time, is a third of what the communities are. And you may only be able to use this for a year, but that's a year you saved. And if I'm not mistaken, Catherine and John have had residents that went all the way to death, or not residents here, they're members, that have come here all the way to the end of life. So when they said they were going to do this, I was so excited. And the second reason I got excited was they got my training, which is 12 hours of training and a 350-page book, and every single member of their staff goes through that training. This is the best trained group of dementia caregivers in the country, right here in this building. And on top of it, you've got her with an office right over there in the back. They will bathe your person here. Do you know that's one of the biggest reasons people move into memory care is they cannot bathe their person anymore. And they'll bathe them here for you. Okay? So you've got ways here to save you as you go through this disease. Does that make sense? Okay, there's 6 things that you need to understand we can treat in dementia, and these are the only things we can treat. We give them socialization. We do spiritual and faith work with them. There's somebody that comes here and does Bible study and services. We can treat their pain. We can treat their anxiety. We can treat their depression. And we can treat their psychosis. And that's it. We can either let Catherine do her job and get your person as close to possible as to who they were for the remainder of their life, or you can say, I don't want that stuff, and you can watch your person do this and be in misery for the remainder of their life. Okay? So let us do our job, but understand we can't stop it, we can't back it up, but it will actually slow it down because of the amount of socialization they get here. Okay? Socialization is critical to us as humans. So right now, turn around and introduce yourself to someone in this group you don't know. And you get off your phone. You are not allowed to be on your phone.
I'm taking notes.
I'm Tam.
All right.
Love your husband sitting behind you. They thought that was so funny. I'm Tam.
I'm Laura.
I already know you. How are you? Susan, nice to meet you. Love the necklace. Nice to meet you. I'm Tam.
I'm Govind Singh.
Mr. Singh, you don't need to stand. You sit down, sir. Tam?
Thank you very much.
How are you? Good to see you again. I don't usually remember people. I remember this crap. I got to meet the lady with the pink hair. You could have been in my picture up there with the pink hair. I'm Tam.
It's Halloween.
That's great. That's great. How are you? How are you? That's awesome. Hanging out with you, Wendy. How are you? Hi. Man with a beard. Oh my gosh. How many times an hour does he have to shave? Quick, isn't it? Everybody meet somebody? They'll also have this recorded and on the website. All right. That's enough socializing. Good Lord. Things to do. Oh. Oh. Things you can do to help. Go to YouTube. Go to Therapy in a Nutshell. It's free. She's really good. She's a licensed family and marriage counselor, and she's got little 10 to 20-minute nuggets of therapy that are very, very helpful. If you're doing what if, that's anxiety, you're living in the future. If you're doing coulda, woulda, shoulda, that's depression, you're living in the past, and she will help you. And did I mention she's free? Because my therapist charges $200 a session. Thank God I'm in Texas. The mindful movement on YouTube. How many of you are having trouble sleeping? If you have gone 3 months without sleeping correctly, you've developed insomnia, you need to see your doctor. This has got to be corrected, because if you don't get enough sleep, guess what you develop later on? Yeah, so we got to get enough sleep. Your body has to have it in order to regulate, in order to run. You can't lose weight if you don't get enough sleep. There's so many things that can happen to you. But in the mindful movement, Sarah Rabin does everything from a morning meditation of 10 to 20 minutes to a nighttime meditation of 1 hour to 8 hours. That woman will talk you to sleep. But as she's talking you to sleep, she will give you some breathing exercises to help you go to sleep. She will remind you that you are safe and the day is over and it's okay. Deepak Chopra, you can go to Dr. Chopra's website, give him $600 and get access to his videos. You can go to YouTube. He's got 400 videos on there for free. Being frugal, I went for YouTube. I'm also on YouTube. There's about 400 videos of me on YouTube people have put up there, so you can find all sorts of stuff about dementia. You need 2 journals. One journal is your gratitude journal. In that journal, you must write 3 things a day you're happy about, you're grateful for. And I don't care if it's I love my cat, I love my cat, I love my cat. But in 21 days, your autoimmune system will begin to boost. Okay? Just by being grateful. You need a second journal where you write down the funny things your loved one does. If they were funny before, they're still funny. And people with dementia do funny stuff. Don't write down the bad memories. Write down the funny stuff that makes you remember who your loved one really, truly was. Okay? I want you to write a letter to yourself. And this is actually your homework. I want you to write a letter to yourself, and I want you to put in the letter all the amount of time you've done in care, the love you've given, the battle you fought just to try to get it to a doctor and to a diagnosis, all of the things that you have done for someone else, and then put the letter away for the day you need it. I want you to write poetry. Poetry helps with grieving. It turns out it wasn't just a 7th grade punishment. It actually is something that's helpful. Nobody's going to read your poetry. It doesn't need to rhyme. It doesn't need to have reason. But sitting down to write poetry helps us grieve. We don't quite understand that. Greenstone's ice cube trick is when you feel overwhelmed, go get a cube of ice, stand in front of the sink, hold the ice tightly in one hand, shut your eyes and breathe. On the 7th breath, you will drop the ice cube because now it's burning, but it will shut down all those what if things that are going on in your brain and let you calm down instantly. Go to selfcompassion.org. Take a picture of it. Go to self-compassion.org. This is Dr. Kristen Neff at the University of Texas in Austin. She is a guru. Turn your phone sideways, scroll down, and take the test. Now, the top score on the test is 5. And I'm a bit of an overachiever and I'm sort of competitive, so I figured when I took it, surely I would score a 7. I mean, if 5 was top, surely being me, it'd be a 7. And I scored a 1.32. Turns out I'm really good about helping other people, but was not being good about helping myself. And the wonderful thing about her test, it takes about 10 minutes to take, spits it right back out, and it tells you where you're not being kind to yourself. And self-compassion is just treating yourself the same way you would treat a stranger who is in your condition. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay? Oh, that's all on that slide. That little dog sort of looked like a little seal there, didn't it? Okay, I would take a picture of this. Go to grief.com. When Elizabeth Kubler-Ross wrote The Stages of Grief, because she was a PhD, her name was across the top. Because David Kessler was a graduate student, his name was on the bottom of the book. You can barely see it. David Kessler owns grief.com. Try the alzheimersalliance.uk. They don't ask you for any money. That's the first thing I like about them. Every 3 seconds, they don't pop up an ad to ask you to send them money. And they've got better information than our country because European research is ahead of us. Okay? They have areas in there to talk to adult children. They have tips in there for talking to young grandchildren or great-grandchildren. Okay? This is my phone number. It's the only phone I carry. When you call me, I'm not going to answer it, but you'll feel better just because you tried to call. And then when I get to a stopping point, if I don't answer the phone, it's just because I'm traveling. I'm not avoiding you. I will call you back and we can figure out what you need. Please don't send me an email. If you email me, then I'm annoyed because I have to email you back and say, what's your stupid phone number that I asked you to send me to begin with anyway? So just text me your phone number and tell me you need to talk and I will get back to you. If you have not heard back from me in 48 hours, call me again. It just means I'm traveling. Okay? If you begin to bother me, I will send you a bill. Oh, wait. Okay? You've got to do exercise and diet. That is the biggest thing. That there's 3 things that have happened in 4 generations. Our grandparents walked 8 to 20 miles a day. That's what humans evolved to do. We think we're special if we walk 4,000 steps. Okay? Our grandparents ate non-processed, fresh food grown in the season it's supposed to grow in. And I don't know if you realize this, but since before World War II, they have released over 600 nuclear weapons into our atmosphere. And it's actually caused our bodies to develop a carbon that wasn't there before. So when you wonder where does all of this come from, where's all this ADHD and autism and all these things coming from, I'm thinking breathing the air that now has nuclear radioactive waste in it could probably be a big one too. Okay, so those are the 3 big things we're working with. Can't do anything about the air except move to Colorado and live up in the mountains. Oh God, that probably makes us even closer to the radiation, doesn't it? And it's exercise and diet, and the diet is the Mediterranean diet because that is the diet closest to human evolution. We did not eat red meat every day, even though I did growing up because my family are beef ranchers. You're supposed to eat red meat once a month. Okay? Now are you depressed? Oh, good. My work here is done. Okay. Do you have any questions? Catherine said, you can't do that in an hour. And I said, I bet I can whip right through that in an hour. I'm ahead of time, aren't I? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. You mentioned will they reimburse if you request a HOPA?
So you can download the slums test, and you're allowed to give the slums test to your loved one. And the slums and the MOCA are considered equal in validity. Ask for a referral. And who would you get referred to here, Catherine? Would it be to you? Dr. Grubert? G-U-R-G-R-U-B-E-R. And she's wonderful. And she's his. Okay? Great question. The SLUMS test is the St. Louis University Medical Status Exam. It was a group of physicians at St. Louis Medical University who decided that they could build a better cognition test. And the validity rating on it is 99%. It's in the back of the itty bitty dementia book, and you can Google it online. It's all capital letters, SLUMS. Now, how many of you have seen the clock test? Why do they make them draw a picture of a clock? Catherine, why do they make them draw a picture of a clock? To see if they can process and orientate. It's checking their visual spatial function. Is everything clumped over on one side? Is everything spread around? You know, you can actually tell what time period someone went to school in this country based on whether they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or whether they go 1, 6, 3, 9. And what are we going to do for today's children? We don't care. We're not going to be here. We don't care. They're on their own. Bunch of little monsters on their phones. Who's next? Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes. And I've only known one person, and he worked for APS in financials. He scored a 5. I was like, I want to see you take that test again. I didn't believe it. But it's a wonderful test because immediately. Yeah, my phone started laughing at me and said, you need professional help. Yes, sir.
Any data how other countries are operating in dementia?
How other countries are what?
How bad they are?
All first, no, sir. All first world countries have the same numbers for dementia because we're all breathing radioactive air.
Are European countries as well?
All first world countries. That's England, France, Germany, Japan, Spain, Barcelona, China, Russia. All of the first world countries' numbers are the same. I know, because nobody's moving and everybody's eating processed food. Your grandparents ate 1.5 pounds of sugar a year. Today's teenager is eating 154.5 pounds of sugar a year. Do you know why McDonald's French fries taste so good? They're sprayed with sugar. Yeah, you ever found a French fry under your car seat? It's been there a year because you haven't stopped at McDonald's since then because it made you so sick? And does it look like it's been there a year? Or does it look like you dropped it this morning? It shouldn't look like that. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Sarasota Memorial Hospital has a memory clinic, and at the present time, the call there, the wait to get a complete evaluation is 8 weeks. And here's one more thing: when it comes to primary care, you don't have to wait until they offer you a referral. You can ask for it from a place of advocacy for your loved one.
Now, when they're doing the testing, this is not a day test. There are 28 separate tests that are done. You're expecting an MRI, an EKG, an EEG, a PET scan, a SPECT scan, a CAT scan, blood work, the SLUMS test or the MOCA will be done. There's certain blood work draws that are done. What am I missing, Catherine? There's 28 separate tests. I know that. I will send.
So I use the memory clinic a lot when I want to send people who have not gotten the diagnosis. But as I was talking about earlier, they still need the neurocognitive testing, which Sarasota Memorial will recommend that they have. So they give you all the data and they actually help you make the diagnosis, but they will not treat the disease. So again, that's what we need to. That's how we do.
Okay, I will send Catherine. Anything else?
Is Town Square something which insurance might pay for?
Does Town Square do insurance?
We do long-term care insurance, VA.
Long-term care insurance, VA benefits, and the rest of it is private pay. Yes, ma'am? The whole back row, did y'all get together earlier and say, we'll sit on the back row and then we'll ask questions? You need those tests for the same reason your family would need any disease known. It's now part of your children and grandchildren's medical record. It tells us what kind of care they will require. Some people can only be cared for in a skilled setting. Other people can be cared for at home. Other people can be cared for in memory care. It tells us which staging tool we will use. It tells us how the disease will progress. That tells us what kind of behaviors there will be. It tells us whether or not medication should be used, because some dementias are extremely sensitive to medications that would be given to people with different types of dementia. So you need to know the same reason you would need to know if the word was cancer. No, ma'am, the testing is all done in about a week-long period, because there's a day of neuropsych testing that goes on as well. So it is not a one-shot thing. Okay? And that's a lovely mango shirt.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
If you want one. So
wait, that one might fit me.
Yeah.
Getting out of here with a pair of earrings and a shirt, y'all. Yes, ma'am.
So Alzheimer's is what I have researched. It says Alzheimer's is a disease, and the byproduct of it would be dementia. That's
No, ma'am, that's incorrect.
okay. Well,
Dementia is the umbrella term for 128 terminal diseases
Yes.
of the brain. It is not the name of anything.
okay.
Alzheimer's is named for Dr. Alice Alzheimer's, and it is one of the most common forms of dementia.
Right.
Okay?
So it's not a disease in itself.
Dementia is not a disease
Okay,
itself.
well, that's good. My husband was telling me all this stuff. He's been researching stuff.
Yeah, the research is hard for you to do because you're not trained in this. And it would be like trying to figure out how to look up how a car works, but you don't know the words internal combustion engine. So when you type in the word dementia, how many trillions of hits do you get, and where do you start? Yes, ma'am. Gerontologist. No, I am very rare. Right now, it's like you're seeing a unicorn. That's how magical it is. Do you know the state of Texas will pay you to go? They will pay for your medical school if you will study geriatrics. And do you know we have 6 people in the program, and the state of Texas has 5 medical schools. Nobody wants to work with old people. Everybody wants children. Yes, ma'am. Wait a minute. Didn't you already ask a question? Yeah, we have a limit on questions in this. No. Oh, you're answering. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.